Now, setting up a brand new caravan and a four-wheel drive tow vehicle for a big trip around Australia has got to be one of the most exciting things that you can do. But what happens when the person setting up that rig is a stalwart of the Australian caravan industry? Now, I'm here with Mitch Damyon, a long-term employee of Goldstream Caravans. Now, he's just set himself up with this awesome Goldstream RV, a new Nissan Patrol. Mitch, when you were setting up this caravan, what sorts of things were going through your mind?
Well, first of all, we've started to plan a trip, obviously, to take off around Australia for a bit of long service leave, and the plan is to have an off-road capable vehicle and van for the sort of the trip that we want to do.
Now, I'm tipping that you've fitted out this caravan with a lot of extra fruit.
Yeah, because we've decided to keep the van as a single axle in that 1760 range, we've had to up the suspension to the ATX into the 3 tonne, so we've got a little bit more load carrying capacity, but we've also got a little bit more weight in the van.
Was it important to you to have a single axle caravan for this trip?
Mainly for storage at home. That is purely the only reason, but we also wanted to keep it a small unit, so everything is quite compatible and legal.
So no doubt you're going to be in the back of beyond, you're going to need some decent power. So what have you done there?
Okay, so we've set the van up so we can be a little bit more off-grid. We've done a 300 amp lithium battery in the van. We've got 440 watts of solar up on the roof. We've done the 3000 watt inverter so we can be a little bit more capable off-road and still have a few creature comforts.
And that inverter is also going to allow you to run the onboard aircon?
Will, for a couple of hours.
So you got an onboard heater?
Yeah, we went with the Truma gas heater, simply because having the Nissan Patrol being a petrol car, tried to keep the heater off the gas bottles and not have to worry about diesel at all.
Are there any features that you've added above and beyond what you get as part of the Rhino pack?
Max, we've added a lot of extra stuff to the van. You know, building everyone's caravans for years and years and years, you start to get a few different ideas of something that might want to suit yourself, sort of thing, a lot better than the stock standard sort of van. So we've done little things like a washing machine on the back wall of the van, one of the little mini washers. We've done something a little bit unusual and gone with the compost toilet.
Now that's interesting to me. I've heard really good things about these composting toilets, though I've never used one myself.
I'm in the same boat, never used one myself, but over the years, customers that have swear by them, just love them.
So you've got the 3 tonne rated suspension on the caravan. Is there a reason that you didn't go for airbags?
Probably my mistake, anything at the end of the day. I should have at the end of the day.
Okay, well that's interesting. Why do you think that?
Would have made life a lot easier levelling up the van when you are on site. Also the ability to drop and raise the height of the van for different river crossings that you might be going through.
So you've got the slide out tray for a barbecue. What are you thinking there? A Ziggy or a Weber Q? Or?
We've gone with the Ziggy.
Okay, why the Ziggy?
Had already had the built-in flame failure device built into it already, and I've been a Weber convert for years and years and years at home, but so we thought we'd try something different, just like the compost toilet.
So Mitch, you've spent a career advising customers on how to set up their caravans and that sort of thing. It's now time for you to hit the road, so where are you thinking of going?
We've got 4 months off, Max, so we're going to try and use that time wisely, but we're going to start off leaving here in Melbourne middle of April. We're going to start heading up via the Unadada, up through the middle, around sort of the Kakadu, Litchfield, Darwin area, back down to Kununurra, across the Gib, back down the sort of the west coast of WA, that top west coast of WA. The plan becomes a little bit, we're not sure after that. So we're not sure if we're going to head back down to Perth and do the south of sort of Perth, or we're going to hit inland and maybe go back across the Great Central Road. Now I noticed that you've got 2 spare wheels on the back. Normally these caravans would come with 1, I believe, so you've gone for the second spare. Is that just for that extra level of redundancy on the Gib River Road? Yeah, we're just trying to be cautious. Only having the single axle, if we did happen to have 2 flats, at least we're out of trouble.
And do you have much matching stud patterns? Matching
stud patterns with the car, so we could get out of trouble if we need to.
So you've got the ARL dust reduction system on the roof?
Wouldn't be without it, Max. We've trialled them over the last 3 or 4 years and they work fabulously.
Now these ARL systems, for people who don't know, are a motorised system, aren't they? They've got a fan.
Correct. Yeah, so you just switch it on, close the door and drive away.
And that pressurised?
Fan pressuриses the body of the van.
So it's a single axle caravan. It's got more equipment on it than you can shake a stick at. What does it all come in at tear?
Tear's in at around 2480.
Now do you think that weight's about right? Are you happy with that?
I was hoping it was going to be a little bit lighter, but you know, knowing all the little bits and pieces that we've put in it, we've probably maxed it out a little bit. We've got about 475 kilo of load carrying capacity. We don't have to put anything else into the van really, bar ourselves.
Well, because as you say, the Caravan is ready to roll with everything that you need. Correct. So it's yourself, it's your food and luggage.
That's it.
So when I stepped inside the Caravan, Mitch, there were a few things that I noticed that really speak to the Caravan's, you know, attention to detail. So you lift up the bed, you can see the gas heater, and I like the way it's been properly sectioned off so that when you throw your luggage in under the bed, you know, you're not going to be damaging anything. Yeah,
look, Goldstream RV have always, you know, had a really top-notch, you know, appointment to detail, you know, in everything they do throughout the van.
And the quality of the ply that you use, I mean, you're not just using run-of-the-mill ply, it's all imported stuff, isn't it? It's
the Urban product, which it's a laminate base, so, you know, it's fully waterproof. You can wipe it down with a damp cloth. You're not going to do any damage to any of the plies or anything like that. It's all a 15mm ply. The furniture's all put together just like a house, so it's all, you know, house jointed together. There's no staples, you know, holding furniture together as such. It is all actually screwed together.
I mean, it's clearly rigid inside. I mean, you step in and there's nothing in there that feels flimsy or like it wants to fall apart. I really like the layout too. Was that your choice?
Well, it's always been one of my favourite choices, and seeing we decided to stick with the single axle, you know, that was high up on the list. We both wanted the cafe seating simply because if we, you know, did happen to be stuck in the van, we both have a place that we can actually sit, put our feet up. There's a little bit of a compromise in that layout with the doorway position being at the end of the bed, but to us that doesn't matter to us. You know, hopefully all our living is out here.
Now, one other thing that I noticed that I really appreciate about Goldstream Caravans is the way that everything is properly protected underneath. And now, Mitch and I, we were talking earlier about the protection for the grey water plumbing. And if you look underneath, you can actually see the way you've extended the galvanised sheeting so that, you know, the stones that get flicked up when you're doing the Gibb River Road on your big trip, you're not going to have, you know, shot-peened, you know, PVC everywhere.
Correct. All the PVC is all completely hidden behind tanks or behind guards all the way throughout the, you know, underneath the van. We've gone, you know, an extra sort of added, you know, step in putting a set of mud flaps right across the front of the van as well, just underneath the body, which hopefully that'll dampen it, you know, any of the stones that do get past.
So after the thousands of customers that you've helped, you know, live their dream, how have you found it personally to, you know, put yourself in their shoes?
Oh, it's certainly been exciting times, Max. It's been, you know, great fun planning it around, planning a trip. We've done it reasonably quickly, this plan, you know, over the last sort of 12 months, buying a vehicle, you know, ordering and building a caravan to suit our requirements. So it's been exciting times.
So for the people watching this, how do you guys go about building your caravans?
When a person comes into the yard and starts looking at the van, obviously, you know, our first requirement is knowing what they're sort of towing with, and we can try and match up a van to their requirements. Once we know what they're sort of looking for and that their car matches what they want, you know, we'll sit down and work through the different layout and what features and what they might want to do.
Yeah, so for you guys at Goldstream, it's really about working with the customer to make sure that they're going to have the right van for their four-wheel drive for their needs.
Definitely correct, and that's the only way that you can really do it. You know, if someone comes in with a big four-wheel drive and they want the big off-road van, sure, we can accommodate. But again, you know, you get your people that come in with your 2.5 ton rated cars, and we've got a full range that we can work with a customer.
Well, Mitch, best of luck, mate. I am a little bit jealous. I know the Caravan's going to hold up, your four-wheel drive's going to be great, and I just hope you have an amazing time.
Thanks, Max. Really appreciate it.